In this session, we'll continue our discussion on modify comments, and probably this will be the last part in this modify comments series. So this is part 14, modify comments continued. Okay. So we have seen majority of the modify comments which we will be using regularly, which you want to use while preparing various drawings in AutoCAD. Now if you see here, you can see a number of other modifying comments also, of which we'll be discussing one or two, and the remaining you can just try by yourself. And some of these things, these are pertaining to specific objects. Okay, first we will see one of such modify comments, that is this one. This is edit polyline. We have already seen what this polyline is, how we can create polyline, and this spline command. And in fact, I'll just draw a polyline in my screen so that we'll edit that polyline using this pedit command. As we know, we can, as we already learned, can draw both arcs and line segment using polyline. So I'll have something like this in my okay, again line, yeah, then closing it. Okay, now I have a polyline in my drawing, and I want to edit this polyline. So if you want to edit this polyline, editing the polyline in the sense that we need to change the width or change something related to the vertex or something, some operation like that. So for other editing like mirror, offset and other things, you can use the edit commands which you have already learned. Here if you want to modify the polyline, you can use this command, and the command is actually pedit, or you can start it from here. So in the modify things, you can see here, this is poly edit. I'll read that one. Edits polylines and 3D polygon meshes. So this pedit is a command which we can use for editing polyline. We'll start the command pedit. See, AutoCAD will prompt us to select the polyline. So I'll select the polygon. Once you select the polygon, you can see there are a number of options available here. We can do a number of operations, a number of modification facilities are available as far as pedit is concerned. Okay, we'll see a couple of these editing options. The first one, what you can see here, is open. It's the open is seen here because the polyline which we have selected for editing is a closed polygon. See what happens if I select the option open. See, when I selected the option open, you can see the last segment of the polyline is removed, so that the polygon has become an open polygon. Also, you can see that the option open is not available now. Instead of that, we have the close option. So if I use close option, then that segment will be automatically drawn again. So the first option what you can see here will be either open or close, depending upon the polygon which you have selected. The next one is join. Joining is or the join command is for joining multiple segments of polyline together. Here, as we have only one polyline, we cannot use this polygon. I'll explain the join command after completing the other options. Then width we already know. We can give a specific width to the polygon, and here if you give width, I can change the width of all the segments. You see now I have given a width 2 to all the segments, and of course you have an undo option at the last, which will undo the operation what we have done. Then we have another option, which is edit vertex. There are few vertex in the polygon, and if you want to edit vertex, you can use this one. And for edit vertex itself has got various other options, like you can move from one vertex to another by using this next and previous things. See, suppose if I click next, it will be moving. You can see currently this vertex is selected, so if I click next, then the next vertex will be selected. So depending upon the different options what you want, like suppose if you want to move this vertex to some other location, you can use this move option here. So there are a number of options for editing the vertex, and even if you want to straighten a segment, you can use that one. So there are various options. I'm not discussing all these options, which you can try by yourself and you can understand that. And if you have any doubt, you can pause here, so that we'll discuss that in detail. So these things are not much used unless you create some specific shapes or other things. In mechanical drawing, will not be using this extensively, so I'm not going in detail about these options. So to move out of this edit vertex, you can use this exit, so that we will be going to the previous edit menu or the edit command, that is p-edit command. And after edit vertex, you can have this fit options. You see, if you select the fit, all the vertex or the lines will be fitted in a proper manner, and you can see the shape has changed. I'll undo that and see the previous one. So this is the original drawing what we have, so it will be fitting properly, so that it will be moved to a a smooth curve or a smooth entity or a smooth object. So that is for this fit option. Then spline, we haven't seen actually in draw. We have spline option. To convert this into a spline, you can use that one. So decurving also removes all the curves and make this. I'll show this. So see, all the curve elements have been removed and it has straightened. So that is this decurve option, and that one. Okay, so these are some of the options which is available in p-edit, that is polyline editing. So by using this p-edit command, you can edit the polyline which you have already prepared on your which you have already drawn in your sheet or in your drawing area, which can be edited. So I'm just moving out of this polyline, and okay, I'll do one more p-edit comment. I'll open this polyline. Okay, open. Okay, now you can see this polyline is an open segment, and I have, suppose if I have few lines also in my polyline, sorry, in my drawing. Now I have sorry, one polyline and a one, two, three line segments also in my drawing. So if you want to join all these things together, you can use this then also you can use this p-edit command and the join option in this p-edit command. So I'll start again the p-edit command, and the p-edit command, you are asked to select the polyline. What happens if I'm not selecting the polyline? Instead of polyline, if I'm selecting a line segment, for example, I'm going to select this line segment instead of polyline. So AutoCAD understands that whatever you have selected is not a polyline, and AutoCAD will prompt you to or prompt you to convert it to a polyline. That is what AutoCAD is asking right now. You can see here, do you want to turn it into one? That is, you can above here you can see the object selected is not a polyline. So the object or the entity what you have selected is not a polyline, and AutoCAD asks prompts you whether you want to convert it into a polyline. See, the default option here is Y, and if you want to convert it to a polyline, either you can type Y or you can simply press enter, so that this entity what we have already which we have selected has been converted to a polyline. Now I want to join the other part also, other line segments and this polyline also with that one. So I will use this join command. Then I will continue selecting the other components or other entities. Okay, so once I complete my selection, I'm just pressing enter to complete my selection. Again, I press enter to go out of the p-edit command. Now you can see that the entire object has been converted to a single polyline. So this is the use of edit command, p-edit command, that is for polyline editing. And the command which we use is p-edit. Okay, so that is about this p-edit, and the next one, this is actually for editing splines. Splines we haven't completely discussed, but splines are for drawing curves of different shape, in fact, and for editing that spline you can use the p-edit command. And this is for hatch edit. Drawing hatch is simple. Although we haven't discussed it in the draw commands, we'll be discussing that. Maybe after this we'll discuss hatch command. And the next one is for editing the array. The command is array edit, and the arrays what we have created, you can edit that using this array command. All the options for array we have already seen in the last video session, and if you want to edit the array which you have created, you can use this array. And another modify command or edit command, what we need to understand this is the align objects. So the align object is for aligning the objects together. So for showing that one, I'll draw a small rectangle here, and then I have a maybe an arc. Yeah. So I'll have a line joining from this point to this point. Okay. Suppose if I want to align this rectangle in such a manner that this line is on this particular line. That is, this side of the rectangle is on this line. So we need to align that one. Actually, we need to move it and rotate it. So aligning will be having two components, like moving it to some other place and rotating it to some other place. So you don't have to do move and rotate for that one. You can use this align command. So for align command, the command is align like this. Okay, I'll type it first here. Whatever commands we have seen, it is align. So here I'm typing align and press enter. Then, like other editing commands, it first prompts you to select an object. So I'm selecting this object. Then to complete the selection, press enter. Then it will ask me to specify the source point, first source point. Actually, for aligning we require source point and the destination point. So I'm selecting this as my first source point. Then it will ask me the first destination point. This is my first destination point. You can see a line is drawn here. This is a temporary line to show us which point will be aligned to which point. Then this is the second source point, then second destination point. And the align is basically a 3D command, so it will ask for the third source point and third destination point also. As we are doing this in 2D space, we don't have a third point. So for the third destination point, I'm just pressing enter to mention that I don't want the third destination point. Then the next option what we are having is whether we need to scale the objects according to this one. See, here you can see that the length of this side is less than this side. So when you align these things, you can have two different options. One is like this length will be scaled according to this length, or you can keep the original length. So initially I'm not going to, in the first option I'm not going to use the scale option, so I'm giving this no. So for that no is selected here. You can see that n is placed here, so I'm just pressing enter. So that is aligned in such a manner that that side is on this particular line. I'll undo this. Undo this, and I will show the scale option. So again I'm using the align option, select the object which I want to align, then first source point, first destination point, second source point, second destination point, third I don't want. then scale, yes. Now you can see that has been scaled. See that side, the length of that side has been expanded, and accordingly the entire object has been scaled in such a manner that the distance between the first source point and second source point is taken as the distance between the first destination point and second destination point. That is about align. Align, we will come we'll be using this align in 3D space also when we are learning the how to learning to draw 3D objects. Okay, so that is about the modify command align. And also you can see there are a couple of other modify commands also which we may not be using regularly, and all those things you can understand like now once you are familiar with these type editing commands. The other commands you can understand it very easily. So with this modify commands, our discussion on modify commands is coming to an end, and in fact in draw and modify has seen something called hatch, and which we will be discussing in the next session. So that concludes our discussion on modify commands. And of course you might have noticed that I have put some 5 or 6 questions from the drawing entities, which please you try to answer those questions. And although I haven't given any due date for that one, you try to answer those questions. And if you have any doubt on any of the questions or any other thing, you can do comment here, or you can post here. Okay, thank you.